What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, and they're out of both Chico, California and Mills River, North Carolina, and this is their Narwhal, the 2019 vintage. So this is an Imperial Stout that comes in at 10.2% alcohol by volume, 60 IBUs at the time of review. This bottle is just over 3 months old. So, Narwhal. This seems like it's a classic Imperial Stout, and it is to some degree, but when I think about this beer, I just think about, Imperial Stouts that have been around for 15, 20, 30 years. And the funny thing about this is that this one, I believe, was packaged and bottled for the first time back in 2012. So we're talking about a recipe in a beer that's only 7 years old, but it just seems like a classic beer. Like when people talk about like, what are some of the best just, Imperial Stouts, no frills, no adjuncts, whatever. And I'm like, oh, I always mention Narwhal, and I'm just like, that's a classic. And thinking back, I'm like, it's only 7 years old. And I guess it's technically still a classic, but I just feel like this is a beer that's like Bigfoot from them, where it's like a 30-year-old recipe, and it's not. But anyway, so yeah, this is a beer that, full disclosure, I've had before. Not this specific vintage, but I've had this beer numerous times, and I always think it's quite delicious. And I thought, for the shelfy beers in November, I would grab one and give it a proper review, and here we are. So let's crack this one open, get it into a glass, see what we got going on. So this has been out of the fridge for about an hour, so appropriate temperature for sure. Let's give it a pour. Oh yeah, big, viscous, rich looking beer. Go about like that. Not trying to get crazy, you know what I mean? Throw it, you can't. It's got to look proper. Anyway, that looks beautiful. That looks like, you know what, every Imperial Stout should look like that. Beautiful looking. Basically pitch black on camera, I'm pretty sure. In the glass, it's a deep black color. I wouldn't say pitch black because it has a little bit of like a dark brown tinge at the bottom here, but almost pitch black. It had about a half finger of this straight up brown colored head. It looked really creamy. Just looks like a fantastic Imperial Stout, so let's get a nose. Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm getting so much stuff. Hang on. I'm getting a little bit of an umami vibe to this one that I don't remember. Like, not quite soy sauce, but just like an umami character. Definitely roasty, charred. This has, big malt component to it. Very roasty from the malt as well, which again, verging into charred and smoky malt characteristics. Dark fruits. Big, like not a super sweet dark cherry, but just like a dark cherry that's not as sweet as you would think. Little touch of black licorice as well. Deep dark chocolate, like a baker's chocolate, like a 70-80% cacao bar type of chocolate. Coffee. Now you just got a little bit of a vanilla sweetness as well. Yeah, I don't say this too much, but like a leather tobacco type of thing. I remember this beer being complex, but this is crazy. That umami character isn't huge, but every time I go there, it's definitely there. Like every time I go back, I'm like, oh yeah, there it is. Caramel and toffee as well. There's like, you know what? Just name all the aroma notes here. Just everything, like 400 of them. That's what's in this glass. Touch of earthiness too, probably from the hops. It smells awesome. For a, like I said, a no frills Imperial Stout, as Matt over at Massive Beer Reviews likes to say, the core 4 ingredients. It smells fantastic. It's one of the best smelling Imperial Stouts. So I don't know. I'm going to get into it. Cheers, everyone. When I drink beers like this, I drink beers like 1050, Old Rasputin. I'm just reminded of how good. Yeah. So, listen, I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you and lie to you and just be like, oh, whatever. The beer nowadays, whatever. I'm an old curmudgeon. I'm not, because I like the adjunct, pastry stouts. I love the adjunct milkshake IPAs and the New England style IPAs and the fruited sours and the whole nine. I like that. A lot of them are delicious. A lot of them don't taste like beer, but a lot of them are delicious. But when I get a beer like this, I'm just reminded of how good just a core 4 ingredient Imperial Stout can be. And this is upper echelon. This is world class. Well, close to world class for me. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to drink a little bit more. We'll see. Body, medium to full body, 10.2%. Fantastic. Mouthfeel, soft, smooth, slightly creamy. Has enough carbonation, but it's slightly undercarb. Probably not for the style, but just like it doesn't have like a moderate carbonation. It's just under that, which it works really well for me. Yeah, oh, man, it's so soft and smooth. The flavors. The nose carries over about 75 to 80%, which is awesome. I'm getting a lot of like cocoa powder or like baker's chocolate, 70, 80% cacao bar, like a dark chocolate, unsweetened. There's coffee roast. There's a big roasted malt character that's verging into char, not really smoky on the palate, more charred. And that's really all right up front, is that bittering chocolate, the charry roast, and a little bit of the coffee. As it passes through the palate, the dark fruits move in, and it's more like a dark cherry into like, yeah, dark cherry, maybe even like a raisin kind of thing, just slightly. And I just lost my train of thought because I'm trying to taste. I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, what else is there? Black licorice too. That also carried over from the nose. That kind of hits mid-palate. A little bit of underlying caramel and toffee nose in general. As it finishes on through the palate, it finishes basically semi to almost full-on dry. This does not have a lot of residual sweetness, almost none. This is close to full-on dry. Very dry beer. But I think it works. And you guys, if you've watched my channel, you know that I'm not a huge fan of dry beers, but this is a beer where I think it works well for my palate. 10.2%. I know this is a bigger beer, but no alcohol stringency on the palate. A little bit of a warming into the chest. I would guess like 9%. So 10.2, they're hiding it relatively well. But a beer like this, I don't even care if it's well hidden when it comes to the ABV because it just drinks so well. Dare I say it is a deceptively drinkable 10.2% Imperial Stout. A little bit of vanilla hits at the end too before it goes into the dry finish, and I really like that. I didn't get much vanilla on the nose, just a touch of it, but a little bit of vanilla here too, which is, you know, again, this is just the core 4 ingredients, which, man, this is a fucking, listen, this is delicious beer. If you've never had this one before, you owe it to yourself to try it. It is up there as one of the just my favorite no frills kind of Imperial Stouts. I should buy this every year. I haven't bought it since 2017, so I missed last year's vintage, and I don't know why. And getting to review it for you guys is a lot of fun. More fun for me, I think, because it's just fun sitting down and breaking this beer down. Like before I did beer reviews and I drank something like this, I sit there and contemplate or whatever. But like breaking it down and just going through everything, it's like, wow, you kind of don't realize how complex and how enjoyable these beers are, how deep they are. And it's so fun to drink one like this on camera and sit here for, 10, 12 minutes and just be like, yeah, I'm picking out this, this, and this. And it's like at the end of it, you have like 12 to 50 different characters. Like, wow, that's super complex. But if it's complex and not good, then who cares? Luckily, this is complex and great. So the umami character I was getting in the nose and didn't really carry over in taste. I'm not getting any of that umami on the palate. I was more in the nose, so I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I feel like maybe I would have liked a little bit of umami character, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what it is about this specific vintage right now, how it's hitting me, how I'm feeling about it. Maybe it's just the mood I'm in. I always talk about when I rate beers, your mood and the atmosphere and everything can play a role in what you think rating-wise. I think more often than not, I've given this beer like a 4.5 out of 5, but today, it just hit me in the feels. It's very, very nostalgic, despite, like I said, only being 7 years old. And I just think this is a great beer. So I'm going to give Narwhal, the 2019 vintage from Sierra Nevada, a straight 4.75 out of 5. I mean, some of you will be like, oh, that's way too high. Some of you will be like, this is 5 out of 5 all day. Again, our ratings are our personal preferences. Well, at least on my channel, when I rate, it's personal preference. And I think this beer is every good as bit of a 4.75 out of 5 than every other 4.75 out of 5 beer I've given. It's up there. This is close to world class, if not world class, depending on my day. But even on the worst days when it comes to this beer, this is still a 4.5 out of 5 at the very least. So yeah, absolutely delicious beer. Price and availability. Price point in my neck of the woods, it's anywhere between $9.99 to $10.99 for a 4-pack. So you're talking $2.50 to like $2.75 for that bottle. Fucking yes, 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 and yes. All day, every day, I would pay that. Under $3 a bottle for this basically world-class Imperial Stout. Yeah, that's crazy, great value. Availability all over the place. If you get Sierra Nevada, you should see this one wherever it shows up. And yeah, it's such a good beer. I don't remember if I've tried any of the barrel age variants of this one, like the regular barrel. I don't know if they do. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I know they've done just a regular barrel age, but if they've done other variants, I haven't had them. I can't remember if I had the barrel age. My mind's shot. I'm old, but you know what? I'm going to have to review the barrel-aged Narwhal next time it gets released because I remember I'm pretty sure I had that one and I remember it being good, but I still like the base more. It kind of like 1050. Barrel-aged 1050 is a delicious beer, but base 1050 to me, I enjoy it more. I just do. From price point to just the taste, I think it's better than barrel-aged 1050, and I'm sure a lot of people will be like, you're a moron, and be like, yes, I am, but not for that reason. Maybe, though. I don't know. Anyway, like I said, if you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. I'm sure a lot of you out there have had this beer before. I mean, I've had it numerous times. If you've had the 2019 vintage specifically, let me know what you think about it, because, yeah, one of the best beers I've had this year, and I'm going to drink the rest of that and enjoy every second. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Till the next one. Cheers.